Hey traders, John Howell here, your number one market trader. You know that, right? So a lot of things I want to cover with you today. There's a lot of things I want to share with you in the energy sector. I'm going to be talking about silver, gold, mining sector, the stock market as well too. So a lot of things I want to cover with you today. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders. So let's actually start off with the good old stocky market. And oh, by the way guys, I'm running a new webinar today talking about how I went from $250,000 in debt to then becoming a full-time trader. What's the system that I use? What's the step-by-step pattern that I actually look for? How do I find the trades and so much more? So if you are struggling with your trading right now, very first thing in the description, come join my next webinar. I promise you that after you see the webinar, light bulbs will start to click for you. So, or go to, if there's no link in the description, go to John's, JOHNS freetraining.com, johnsfreetraining.com. So let's have a look here at the actual S&P 500. So here's the really interesting thing about the S&P 500 is that the really interesting thing that, and when it comes down to your trading as well too, right? Trading itself is actually, there's, you know, the 80-20 rule, right? There's 80%, like there's, if you look at a pile, right? You look at a pile. And if you look at if you look at technical analysis on itself as well too, right? This is called TA, technical analysis. And then guess what? You have a bit of a pie here, right? And it's called this 20%. And then you have this other sort of 80%. And you know what that 80% is? A load of crap, right? A load of crap. And, or maybe it's not a load of crap, but what I mean by that, guys, is like, it stops you from actually seeing the simple things in the markets. What are they? They're like, have you ever seen it's like, okay then, well, let's actually put on this super duper indicator. Let's put on the stochastics, the MACDs, the Bollinger Bands, the RSIs, the automatic trend lines, the Holy Grail indicator, right? We go do all the way down there. And actually on my webinar that I'm running today, you'll be able to see, especially in secret number, I've got 3 secrets I'm going to share with you, but secret number 1, I'm going to share with you the biggest mistakes that I made when it comes to that. But there's only about 20% of the stuff out there that you really need to know when it comes to you being actually doing really well out of trading, right? The rest is that if you want to make life complicated, then fine. You know, I used to trade like this. Let me show you a chart. I used to trade like this. Where's my all indicators, right? I used to trade like this. Isn't she just pretty? Oh, she is just pretty. I could put some more stuff in there. I've got a double stochastic. I've got my RSI. I've got the market through here, right? Isn't she just pretty, right? Very, very pretty. But guess what? I did okay out of it, but I didn't make a lot of money, right? I wasn't really where I am today. But guess what? I went from that to this, and then basically this, right? Which is just one indicator. I used that. Guess what happened? Not only did I shave my time down, I trade much less time now than I used to before. My success rate has skyrocketed to a really high percent win-loss ratio, over 90%. And also my income's actually tripled. So my income has actually tripled from trading from this straight to I don't know, to this one here, right? So my income has actually tripled. Again, on that webinar, I'll share with you all the details about the system. But that's the reason why I want to start off with this little market update for you, saying like, listen, we don't need to really have a bit of we don't need to be very, very, very clever in what we're looking at here, right? We just need some simple analysis, and then we can start to get going. Confusion leads to no decision, and no decision leads to you then making FOMO decisions, right? The confusion of all these indicators. What happens? You're so confused you don't take a trade. And then when you don't take a trade and you wanted to take a trade but you didn't because you're confused, then the market runs on, then you're like, oh, and then you start to get FOMO because you missed out on that one. Then you say, oh, I want to get back at the market. And then you go take a trade, and then the trade that you were going to take actually makes a profit, but then the trade you do take actually makes a loss. And now you're on a downward spiral, right? We've all been there before. So looking at the stock market right now, we are definitely starting to really heat up on the bullish side. Very, very, very strong sentiment around the technical analysis side of things. on these markets here, right? S&P come down, 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 down. And look what's happened with the S&P. We're still, look at this here. Look at the moving average. Very, very, very strong to the upside. Bam, wham, bam, bam. And now we're getting what? We're getting a possible trend of change through here, right? We've got this high, come back down, and we're also at that level of support. So this could also be, a bit of an inverted head and shoulder formation. Ooh, inverted head and shoulder formation, guys, right? And then we have, that's the neckline. It's like, it's got to get up to here just to break the neckline. Nah. So, if we have a look at that, that's what's happening right now. And this could be a head and shoulder formation, but, head and shoulder formation. But the whole thing about it is that we're starting to build a lot of strength. There's a lot of strength coming in there, especially if you look at the Russell. Check this out with the Russell. This is quite interesting. If I do this here and then I bring on my trend lines, look at this here. Really, 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 really interesting, right? So I've got my moving average here. The thing about the moving average, guys, if I take everything off the screen, is if it's trending in one direction, that means there's a bit of a momentum in that direction. If it's flat, like it is here, see how it was flat? There was no momentum. Up, strong momentum up, down, strong momentum down. Look what's happening right now, okay? So we're starting to get that moving average starting to trend up. So there's a lot of momentum on the upside. And this is one of the reasons why I use this moving average in my trading system. And then that's what I use there. Again, in that webinar, I'll share with you all the details about that, and I'll show you all the examples and so on and so forth. But looking at this here, look at this through here on the Russell, right? Not only did we break out, but now we come back down, and now we almost tested this support, and now it came down and almost tested that level to be major support in the markets. And now looks like we're starting to get off. So there's a real big high probability, a bit of a gap too. So that could be a breakaway gap, right? What's a breakaway gap? A breakaway gap is where it breaks away from something, right? This actually could be the start of a really big rally to the upside. So that's the reason why, guys, like the last few days, I've been saying get ready for a rally, because there's too many people bearish in the markets there right now, right? Too many people bearish in the markets as we speak. So the thing that I really want to share with you, right? Let's actually check this out to here. And the really interesting thing that I really want to share with you is this. Right, on my community tab, check this out. So this is my community tab here, right? If you go to my community tab here, and if you go down to here, I actually did a little bit of a poll recently. And it's interesting to see what actually happened with people, right? I said if you had to buy Bitcoin or gold, but hold it to the end of this decade, which one would you buy, right? And so we can see here you got Bitcoin, and then we've got gold. So a lot of people still are really on the gold band camp. Really interesting, right? And then you got people on. I wonder why that is. If you did choose Bitcoin out of this thing here, or if you haven't seen this poll, and you haven't put your comment below. So if you put a comment below and tell me why. If you say Bitcoin, tell me why. If you say gold, tell me why. Now my personal answer is gold. I'll tell you why. Because this is the inflation of the decade. The Great Reset's going to happen over the next 10 years. There's going to be as the dollar, and also as the dollar starts to default over the next 10, 20 years as well too. As this currency runs its course like every other currency does in history, they're going to start to flight back to some really hard money. That's my personal opinion, and what I see. That's my answer. I'd like to see what your answer is below there. Bitcoin, gold, and why. And then also, really interesting thing is like right now the stock market has been making overall. I did this 3 days. Right now the stock market is making overall sideways for the last few months. What do you think comes next? And I said new highs, and then also big down move as well. So there you can see here what 37% for new highs and 63% said a big move down. So this was obviously that there. So it was really interesting because that's still pretty. You'd like to see if 80% said down and 20% up. Yeah, it'd be really interesting, right? But I'm still getting. When there's not a lot of people on the fear side yet, right? So that's really interesting. So I wanted to share that with you there, of what I'm actually seeing when it comes to the poll there. Let's actually go look at gold right now. And I did a video here last week saying that we're probably going to flush gold. Gold's probably going to flush down past this. This major support level here, and the reason why is because the big boys who control this, they do this, right? They will flush it because the amateurs don't understand, especially where we are right now. If we go down, and then we have a move down, this is the worst time to go short the market. Why? Because the market's probably going to do something like that. Look at this here. Down, 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 down. Flush it down and then pull back. Down, 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 down. Flush it down. I'm probably going to get a pullback through there. So the reason why I said we're probably going to get a bit of a flush through here, a flush down, is because like something like this, is because there's probably a whole bunch of stops through here. And what the market does is they see the stops, they run the stops, then a whole bunch of amateurs who don't understand the market analysis of the way these markets work, then guess what happens? They all then start to short, right? I used to be one of those bumblebees, right? I used to be the bumblebee, right? I used to short, oh quick, it's breaking past support level, let's go short, right? And 9 times out of 10, it may work every now and then. I'm like, yeah, see, I knew this was going to work. I was right. And then I'd go do it 9 more times, and I'd get my ass spanked big time, right? Real big time. The market didn't just give me the hand; it gave me the cane and the feather duster and the wooden spoon, right? Talking about my childhood days, right? So we're breaking down through here, 1650. So I'm expecting to see something like that, and then a possible turnaround to flush the stops and then turn around through there. The market loves to do that through there. Looking at now of the gold mining sector as well too, and you can see the GDXJ is now, we've got a very strong moving average, but if we look at what the market's actually doing right now, I called this a false breakdown, and this is exactly what's actually happening. And what made me want to call that is we've just had too much of a big move on the downside. I called this move, this breakdown here. See this support level here? So I called this support level as the market was breaking down. I'm like, this is probably going to be a false breakdown, guys. This is not going to be a follow through. It's going to be a false breakdown, which means it's going to pause soon. I didn't know exactly what day, and then start to make its way back up. So looking on the short-term TA for the good old GDXJ, what tends to happen is when we do get these false breakout moves, we tend to run to the other side of the support level. So we have that's the other side of resistance, right? So we had this support level through here. Once we break up through the here, then we run to the next support level or support or resistance level, right? This resistance level here. So there's a big probability we're probably likely to see a move back up towards 27 on that there. And then if that doesn't hold, then we're probably have a bit more upside to come. But that's what tends to happen with these false breakouts. I'll give you an example here. Here was a trade that happened with Citibank. Okay, so Citibank, here's an example of what I'm talking about here. Pretty much the exact same sort of situation. See how we had a sideways movement through here? This is a stock that I was actually watching right here. See how we had this sideways movement? Look at this here. What was that through there? Little false breakdown, right? Get the people, stop people out, get people short. Then it broke up. Once it breaks back up above this level, then guess where it's likely to run to? The other side of what? The resistance level. See, that was the resistance level there. And look what happened. It ran to it and then it paused back down. So if I go back to the GDX right now, you can see why I'm actually saying that this is where it's likely to go to. A lot of the times these patterns do this sort of stuff, and you start to notice this time and time again from there, from what it actually looks like through there. So I hope this helps you out today, traders, and I'll see you real soon. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. Go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.